If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I care about delivering facts and busting all these various falsehoods that you can just so easily find on the internet about Pokemon. Like on this sorry excuse for a website. If you take a look at Retro Dodo's About page, they say that they are widely known for digging up the best of the best retro gaming products, but there's also numerous listicles on the site. That is to say, articles that create a list of a certain topic. The site's founder, Brandon Saltalamacchia, says that he's a retro gaming expert and that he wants to build a place for retro gamers to learn, laugh, and inspire. The only thing that I've learned is that Brandon needs to brush up on his Pokemon knowledge. I was linked to this tweet from Kaiseron talking about this article and how bad it is, and when I took a look at it for myself, I was incredibly surprised at how awful it was. So let's take a look at it for ourselves. Alright, here we have the 12 best Fire-type Pokemon of 2022 by strength. I swear guys, the 2021 list was so different. We're not naming it that for SEO purposes or anything, no sir! Oh wait, hold on a minute. The article is now saying it's the 10 best Fire-type Pokemon. But then, looking at the table of contents, they very clearly have 12 Pokemon, so whatever, let's just get into the list. The first Pokemon they have is Charizard, of course, I shouldn't be surprised. It's not even Mega Charizard they're talking about, we're just talking about vanilla, plain, regular Charizard. And apparently Charizard resists ice, but doesn't resist fighting or fairy. Looks like Brandon needs a quick refresher on his type chart. Charizard is one of the best Fire-type Pokemon because it's a dual Fire and Flying type. It's like the worst Fire-Flying type. Its own Mega Evolution is better than it, Talonflame is better than it, Hollow is better than it, Moltres is better than it. I think the only one that's worse is Oricorio, but even then it does have Dancer for some funny shenanigans it can do. The second Pokemon is Typhlosion, which apparently has a massive explosion attack, whatever the hell that's referring to. It's not referring to the move Explosion because it's not capitalized. It can't possibly be referring to Typhlosion's attack stat because it's so minuscule. I'm legitimately at a loss with this one. Typhlosion's best move is definitely Eruption, a Fire-type move that gets stronger the less HP Typhlosion has remaining. That's Reversal. Close, but a little bit off. Oh yeah, and apparently Typhlosion has a living volcano on its back, which it doesn't? It has flames shooting out of its back, which is not the same as a volcano. But if I'm mistaken and that is a volcano, then that means the next Pokemon on this list, Blaziken, has volcanoes for hands. Blaziken is probably the first Pokemon on this list that I'd consider to be a contender for strongest Fire type, but unfortunately, Mr. Saltalamacchia still got some information wrong. Blaziken is not weak to Fairy-type moves, it's weak to Ground-type moves, and it also omits Blaziken's resistances to Grass and Ice-type moves. Also, something worth noting is that I believe this is the only time the article acknowledges the existence of the Fairy-type, despite the fact that Fire-types resist Fairy moves. And it's at this point that this article might not seem like anything terribly special, just some bad taste and incorrect type resistances. Not anything super offensive, you know? Then we get to Arcanine and whew! Boy, did this dude mess it up big time. It says, Arcanine is designed after the Shishiodoshi, a traditional Japanese garden decoration. Now, while a Shishiodoshi is a Japanese garden decoration, where the hell's a dog in this? Yeah, it may not surprise you to find out that that is most likely incorrect. Arcanine is much more likely based on a Koma Inu or a Shisa. You know, something that looks like a dog? Number 5 is Moltres, which apparently has the unique ability to change the weather to either extremely sunny or extremely rainy. This most likely means it can learn both Sunny Day and Rain Dance, which is true. What's not true, however, is that it's unique. There are over 300 other Pokemon that can learn both Sunny Day and Rain Dance, including other Fire types, including Fire types that appear on this very list. So most of these Pokemon have had a move mentioned alongside the rest of their incredibly accurate statistics, and Moltres' move is Sky Attack, which is described incorrectly. Surprise, surprise. Moltres is vulnerable for a turn before it attacks, as it requires a charge-up turn. Entei is next, and it apparently has a signature move, Sacred Fire. Now, a signature move is a move that's only learned by one Pokemon or one evolutionary family. Yeah, Sacred Fire is learned by 2 things. Also, Entei's ability here is just horribly worded. So first off, it's any move that targets Entei that requires 2 power points instead of 1. Second, this is worded in such a way that makes it sound like if an opponent's move would KO Entei, instead of that happening, the opponent loses 2 PP instead, and Entei gets to live. Up next is Flareon, for some reason. I guess Brandon's fingers must have slipped as he accidentally called it one of the best evolutions. Now, the description here for Flash Fire is one that I actually wish was correct, but unfortunately it's not. Flareon could really use the extra speed, but unfortunately it doesn't get a speed boost when it's hit by a fire move. Now, Mr. Saltalamacchia states that the strongest fire-type move Flareon can learn is Flamethrower, when there was a whole debacle about Game Freak not giving Flareon Flare Blitz to make use of its better physical attack stat. But then again, even if he did say Flare Blitz was Flareon's strongest fire-type move, Overheat would be the actual correct answer. And luckily for us, the next Pokemon on this list has Overheat listed as its strongest fire-type move. What? Why the hell is Magcargo on a list of the best fire-type Pokemon by strength? Magcargo is, like, the weakest fully evolved fire-type Pokemon. Like, who the hell can say that Magcargo is one of the strongest Pokemon of all time? Now, while Magcargo's ability is described correctly, the sentence below that is copied and pasted directly from Flareon's section right above, implying that Flame Body can be used to burn fire-type Pokemon, which... nope, can't do that. Now, at the end of Magcargo's section, it says Magcargo is effective against Bug, Ice, and Steel-type Pokemon. I assume this means that Magcargo resists these types, but it doesn't resist Steel-type moves, and it also resists normal, flying, poison, fire, and fairy moves. It's also weak to fighting moves, which is mysteriously absent here. Number 9 is Ninetales, and here's where this article starts getting really lazy, because 3 paragraphs are copied and pasted from previous sections in this article, including the same error about Flashfire that was present in Flareon's section. Also, a Kitsune can have up to 9 tails, but it doesn't necessarily need 9 tails. Also, this final bit here is just copied and pasted over from Entei's section for some reason. I don't really get why this is the case, because Entei is at least a legendary Pokemon. Ninetales is... Ninetales. Number 10 is perhaps the biggest highlight of the article. Highlight with a copious amount of quotes, of course. Now, the image shown is of Primal Groudon, which is part fire, but the rest of the article makes no mention that we're talking about Primal Groudon. We're just talking about regular Groudon, apparently, which is not part fire. Primal Groudon also doesn't have Drought as an ability, although the description given for what Drought does is accurate if we were talking about Primal Groudon's ability, Desolate Land. The real erroneous part here, though, is what was shown in Kaiseron's tweet. Solar Beam is not a fire-type move. It also doesn't take 2 turns to charge. It only takes 1, but it takes no turns if the sun's up. With, you know, say, Groudon's ability? Anyway, in a completely unshocking turn of events, Primal Groudon's resistances are incorrect, as it also resists poison and fairy-type moves, and it's only weak to ground and water. Of course, the type of sun Primal Groudon sets up makes water moves fail, so there should be a little asterisk next to water there. Ho-Oh is by far one of the best fire-type Pokemon in the series, because not only does it take after a flaming peacock, it's a phoenix! Try killing a peacock and see if it comes back to life. I think you'll find it doesn't. Also, this description for a Regenerator is just completely incorrect. It doesn't activate when you faint, it activates when you switch out, and it doesn't restore 50% of your HP, it restores 33%. Ho-Oh's strongest fire-type move is Sacred Fire. Wait... wasn't that Entei's signature move? Ho-Oh doesn't resist ice moves, it does resist fire, fighting, and fairy moves, and it is not weak to ground moves, it's actually immune to them, but it is also weak to electric moves. Now, back in Charizard and Moltres sections, Mr. Saltalamacchia actually went ahead and acknowledged that those Pokemon were weak to electric. Now, overall, the type resistance and weakness information would have still been incorrect, but it at least would have been a bit more accurate than what we got here. It's the last Pokemon of the article, and I think it really shows because 4 paragraphs are copied and pasted. We once again have special guest star incorrect Flashfire description, saying that it can be built like a tank when it has 75 base HP, 50 base defense, and 80 base special defense, a line that is copied and pasted over from Ho-Oh section immediately above. The same thing said about Flamethrower from Flareon and Ninetales' sections, and the very last sentence in the article is copied and pasted from Ho-Oh section above. And shocking absolutely nobody, Houndoom's resistances and weaknesses are incorrect. It doesn't resist Bug, and it also resists Ghost, Fire, and Dark. Also, it's weak to fighting type moves. But yeah, this train wreck of an article just kinda ends with a copied and pasted sentence. No kind of outro or anything, no comment section for me to read. It's honestly kind of impressive how much misinformation and how much laziness is in this article. Combine that with the current year being in the title of the article, I have a feeling that this was just made for SEO purposes to try and get some easy views. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know, but it probably worked because there's more articles like this. If you're interested in taking a look at another one of their articles, leave a comment down below and let me know. If there's enough interest, I might make another video about these guys. It really is just mind-boggling to me that this guy didn't, like, do some research, make sure what he was saying was correct. Not only that, but the ridiculous amount of copying and pasting that went on in this article. Like, if I did this on a paper and handed it in to a teacher, I think they'd need a grade below F. They'd probably have to go all the way down to H for horrible, which is what I rate this article. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's the super generic YouTuber thing to say, I know, but it really does help out. Before we go, I want to give a huge thanks to my patrons Lord McAfee and Mithril Monarch for being the awesome supporters that they are. I also want to thank the rest of my patrons on screen here for being awesome supporters throughout all these months. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.